Hello everybody, this is Roland from Defense of the Patients. I'm joined by my favorite guest. That's my, what should I say?
Your favorite interview. It's your favorite interview.
My favorite interview, yeah, okay. Nahaz, how you doing, Nahaz?
I'm great, man. It's a great weekend, great event.
Yeah, that's been fun. So we're bringing you on here because we're at ESL, and we get to talk with you. First time we got you on camera, which is cool. And also, for the DotPeabody, you were a landslide vote for the best interview. And we kind of wanted to get an acceptance speech from you for that.
Well, I would like to accept this honor in honor of old men playing Dota everywhere, in honor of the standard deviants, of course, big shout out, and of course to all the other people that are wonderful enough to go on DotP. It's a great show, but I do have to say, get wrecked, noobs.
So there's Nahaz's acceptance speech. We'll spice it out. How is it sitting on the desk? What's it like back there?
It's a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of interaction that goes on that people don't necessarily see, but I mean, Milk is like the king of dick jokes, and so he gets Merlini going, and then it's just impossible not to chime in. We actually really do have a lot of fun on the panel. I mean, it's like old MYM and me, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of antics that occur on the panel, and we just have a really good time.
Yeah, I walked back there. It's pretty cool. So the stage that you guys see, you guys are behind the stage,
right?
Or kind of to the left and right of the stage. It's pretty cool. Like it's high tech back there.
It's neat. I mean, it is an older venue, so of course they had some tech issues early yesterday. And
yeah,
that's just
for game one.
Yeah, but they've got it under control, and it is really neat. The opportunity to work with ESL production is also a lot of fun. Those guys are really professional. They have a lot of stuff they can do with replays, other ways to approach the game. I mean, you're seeing the player cams now better integrated into the experience. And it's really like why I enjoy working with ESL and MLG. They're willing to push those boundaries a little bit.
Yeah, the Logitech replay thing, that's really cool to see. I mean,
it's a lot of fun. It took a little bit, it sort of took us a while to figure out how to maximize that, but I think we're having a lot more fun with that today. And, you know, those kinds of things, the little touches that make the presentation just a little bit more professional, it's important. Our fans deserve that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely they do. That's what we're trying to do here is bring home ESL to all of you. This is Nahaz. This is like...
predictions.
Predictions. I mean, we're already kind of to the... who's going to win this? IG versus Vega?
You know what? Based on what we saw yesterday, I have to take Vega. They just looked amazing.
EG's ass.
They not only kicked EG's ass, but it's one of those things where you see a team playing online, and you see a team playing against a lot of EU competition that there's a lot of talent, but the teams aren't necessarily cohesive yet. Sure. And you question, right? You say, is what this team's running that looks really good, is it going to translate against top tier competition? And yeah, sure, EG had their problems. EG looked rusty, especially at the beginning of those games, but I mean, I said this in the intro segment this morning that we had that moment, the 44-minute team fight in game one, where it's like, okay, we've all seen this script before, EG's going to win. Yeah. And for them to be able to stabilize and say, no, we're going to chip away, and we're going to win that one team fight when buyback is down. And I mean, I'm on a panel with guys that play Dota for a living, and we all look at each other and we're like, that was a really good fight. Wait, holy, this game is over. And it took us a minute to realize that they had just won the match.
Well, we were in the press room and everybody in here was like, oh, EG's the comeback team. They lost game one, it's okay, they're the comeback team. Do you think it was Vega's Broodmother that they picked twice that did it?
I think it obviously had a lot to do with Mag on Brood. We've seen that over the last couple of weeks, what he's capable of doing on that hero. It feels like he never plays the hero the same way twice.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is like 2 or 3 different heroes when Mag's playing it because he's capable of using different builds, influencing the game in different ways. You know, I think Brood's going to be big, especially after this last series. What I said on the panel is, yes, you're always going to have the one player that's great on the hero. You're always going to have the respect fans coming into play. But when you see a hero that actually gets completely shut down in the early game and still has a big influence on game flow, that's when you're going to see a meta shift. I really do think Brood is going to be a thing, unfortunately.
So. I hope so.
You hope so?
I love Brood.
Get out of my presence. Oh my god. Brood mother picker.
Okay, so Secret versus IG. Let's say IG wins. Who's going to win that?
I think if Secret plays the Dota that they've played in this tournament so far, I mean, Nahaz probably been the best player here. Other than, and that's not to devalue. That game Rabbit put in on Brewmaster yesterday was one of the best individual performances I've seen this year. But in terms of game in and game out, the big plays, we has looked a level above. And this is this is the kind of talent that we expected from this kid, but you never know. As with Sumail, you never know whether that raw talent is going to translate onto the pro stage.
Yeah.
And translate is not the right word. It's explosion.
I mean, we see a Meepo pick and we're like, haha, Meepo, those cheesy bastards, and it's like, what? Wait, he's wrecking the game as Meepo.
But it's not just the Meepo. That's the thing about it is you look at what he's been able to do with Wind Ranger, where we're looking at the replays, going through picking highlight clips, and there are just so many examples where he's used every ability of the hero to the absolute utmost in the same engagement. Like he's gotten maximum value out of every ability, every point of HP and mana that he's spending in these fights has a purpose. And it's funny because, of course, when you watch the highlights, you see like the 2 hero power shift. Like, that's awesome. But you don't see all of the decisions in the fight that leads up to that he makes. He has really played on a great level this week.
Oh, he absolutely has. Okay, so if we see Secret versus Vega, do you think Vega is going to give them the biggest run for their money?
I think Vega could really challenge Secret because, again, the difference between Vega and, say, a VP is that Vega's shown that they can play with patience.
Yes.
And that's what you just saw in CDC. They stretched that game 2 out way longer than it should have gone because they played patient. And that's what I think you do against a newer squad that's still really talented players that's still gelling together. You give them chances to make mistakes.
Sure.
You don't let them finish the game on you. I think Vega will be able to do that. I think that'd be a very, very tight series.
I hope Vega wins. I think you made a really cool comment about Secret where you said that they're basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but their max is just as good as their max was before. I have believed that for some time now, that I think in terms of what they can be, their ceiling is as high as the previous squad. But I thought it was going to take, I thought it really was going to take 3 or 4 lands, including the Fall Major, for them really to come together as a squad. And my big question for them is, let's suppose they go into the Fall Major, things don't work out. That's a team I believe if they stay together can really do some great things, but are they going to be able to overcome those issues? Well, guess what? Winning is the ultimate cure-all. Yeah, I think they've got a good, mixing of like egos as well too.
And they have a good mix of young talent in their play. And I still, in some ways, do consider EE to be a young talented player because he's definitely played a lot of games and he's definitely veteran status in a lot of respects. But I still don't believe that he's found a team that has allowed him to reach his potential.
No, neither do I.
I think with Puppy in the captain's role, with Misery and Pile Die, the veteran players, great decision makers, that's. You were Misery at the desk after that last game, talking about how it's not really Puppy that's picking the draft. They're all going through what they feel the strengths and weaknesses are of every hero. They're all coming up with strats. That's what you get in a veteran team. It's not just the knowledge of the game and the ability to play well and make decisions.
Or a mad genius.
They've played the game long enough that they know how to talk about the game. They know how to communicate with each other, not only in-game, but also out-of-game in a very positive way.
Oh, and the Eternal Envy Alchemist, we shouldn't even get started on that. That was beautiful. Seeing Puppy at top net worth on the Venomancer was incredibly cool.
Well, how many times over the years have we seen, I'm not sure that strategy's going to work. Oh, Puppy just made it work. But it's not just the farming Alchemist, though. We've now seen Alchemist multiple times
this tournament
in the farming role, but also in the mid role.
Yeah.
And that's where, to me, in the last patch and the previous ones, teams have gotten so good, you have to be able to get value out of flexibility. And you have to be able to get value out of strategic opportunities that a hero creates. And that's what I think you might see from us.
Well, Nahaz, thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you on camera. I think we have to say is great. What you're doing a good job.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to see you guys.
And congratulations.
Thank you. My honor.